Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm in Michigan.
Hi, I'm Randle, and I'm in Texas. This week, we're reviewing Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to do one video that's spoiler-free, just reviewing the movie and our recommendations to either go watch it or not watch it. And then we're going to be releasing a full spoiler video as a separate video. So, Matt, I want to know what you really liked about the movie, first off.
What I really liked about the movie, I liked some of the interactions with the characters. Going back on the Last Jedi, one of the positives I liked about that was the interactions between Rey and Luke, regardless of what I thought about Luke's character. In this one, I liked the interactions between Rey and Kylo. That's something I liked about this movie. And I liked the core, I would say the core group. If the original trilogy, the core group was Luke, Leia, and Han, definitely the core group in this movie is Rey, Poe, and Finn, and I liked how they handled that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Rey, Poe, and Finn characters a lot more in this movie than I had in previous movies. They're fleshed out a little bit more. I wish that they had done a lot of that in the original, like Episode 7 and Episode 8 more than they did. But in this one, they did a pretty good job of it. In general, I like the way that the movie ends. I won't get into any spoilers there. I don't necessarily like the way that it got there, but I don't mind the ending, which for me was really worked for the movie and the trilogy. And kind of with like Episode 8, it's a very, very pretty movie. It's a gorgeously done film, so you can't complain about, shoddy workmanship. It's good camera work, very, very good special effects, good cinematography, basically. I really like that.
So, what about the movie did you not like?
A couple of things that really stuck out to me, especially early on, was how fast the cuts between scenes were. It's like, all right, we're in a hurry. We gotta get a lot packed into this movie, and it really does. It packs a lot in. But it kind of reminds me of the opening of Rogue One, where you're just cut, new spot, cut, new spot, cut, new spot. And I didn't really like that. And like I said, without getting into spoilers, I don't really like how they got to the ending. One of the biggest problems for me in this film is they just characters do things because the script says they have to do them. Well, why are we going to this planet? I don't know. The script tells us we have to. How do we know what to do next? Well, we just do. Too many things just happen coincidentally in this film for me.
I totally agree, especially with so much being put in this movie. I think that's the biggest downside of this movie is there is so much in this movie, especially like you said at the beginning. They're going through stuff so quickly. There stuff that was left unanswered, I guess, in The Force Awakens and stuff that, Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, decided to go in a different direction. Now they're trying to explain all that in this movie kind of thing. So, a lot in. I would say, too, you're talking about different locations. Is this the Star Wars movie that has the most locations? I don't know. I'll have to go back and go. I mean,
It's a
it's
lot.
up there with Attack of the Clones probably and Revenge of the Sith probably. Like this, there's so many different locales in this one movie. They're going from place to place
Which
in this movie all the time.
which honestly just brings me to another thing that I found distracting. It might not bother the casual moviegoer. Just get that out there. I found the fast travel, as I call it, like the Game of Thrones Season 7 and Season 8 fast travel, really, really distracting in this movie. Characters get places very, very quickly. And one of the things about Episode 8 that I found really enjoyable was just how big space is. When you're at sub-hyperspace speeds, getting places takes a long time. Space is big, you know? In this movie, even though they're using hyperspace predominantly, they still get to places really, really fast. In Episode 4, A New Hope, you get time during travel. When the Millennium Falcon's going from Tatooine to Alderaan, there's exposition that's happening. There's time there. In this movie, there's none of that. It's just we need to get to a spot, we hit the hyperdrive, and we go.
I agree, and that adds that fast pace. That's what I mean. It's one thing right to the next. I was waiting the first line. I don't think anything was really left to breathe. But I am happy that later, more impactful moments in the movie actually did have some time to breathe. The movie, for the most part, is fast-paced, but I'm happy that in some points they actually did.
They slow down.
They did slow down.
In a couple of different spots where it was definitely needed, they did take some time. And I kind of wonder, again, without trying to give away anything, if it was the actors in those particular scenes, if they're some of the scenes that I'm thinking, who are just more experienced actors. They've been on the big stage before, and they know how to portray characters, so they do a better job of pacing the scene themselves as opposed to some of the younger actors in this film.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Well, one other thing I like about this, I do like how they handled some of the legacy characters. Billy D. Williams as Lando. I liked Lando in this film. If there's one bright spot, like not any spoilers, but how Disney and JJ were able to handle Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia in this film. I mean, with what they had to work with and everything, I think it was outstanding. I mean, if that's probably without giving any spoilers, that's probably my biggest bright spot of this film is how they handled Princess Leia in this movie.
And it's truly amazing in some parts because almost all of that footage is from extra leftover takes from The Last Jedi. Most of it is The Last Jedi. Most of it is not even stuff that JJ filmed. And you can, if you have a really keen eye, you can see where they cut her in to some of the scenes digitally. But for the most part, it's really well done. So I do appreciate what they did there. And there's a blink and you miss it moment with Wedge at the end. I kind of wish that they had done more with his character than that, but it was nice to see Wedge just show up, basically, as an acknowledgement of his character. I liked that. Billy D. Williams, I think he did really good with what he had, like the scenes that he had, but it's obvious that he's, as a actual physical human being, that he's not feeling very well, which was kind of a shame. But like what he did with his character, I thought was great. Honestly, I wish they had Lando in episode 7 to help tie a lot of the original trilogy characters in with the newer trilogy instead of waiting until now to bring them back.
I agree. So compared to the other Star Wars films, Randall, where does this one rank for you?
Oh boy. So, it's not like episode 1 and episode 2 bad, but I don't think it's as good as episode 3. I think episode 3 actually does a better job of telling its story than this one did. And I want to say this film kind of felt very much like J.J. Abrams making another Star Wars film. So if you'd seen The Force Awakens, you're not really going to see a whole bunch of different in this one. And for me, that might be part of why it doesn't quite resonate. I'm like, okay, already seen that. But what about you? Where does it rank for you?
I think you hit it right there when you were saying, I think I would put it right there with Revenge of the Sith. That's kind of where I'd have it. The upper tier, I mean, of course I'd put, original trilogy ones. I liked Rogue One. I think I would put it there somewhere in the middle, with Solo and Revenge of the Sith. I think that's about where I would put this movie.
Yeah, you say you liked Rogue One, so did I. I thought Rogue One was actually really well handled, how it fit into the original trilogy without any of the characters until you get to, you know, bad CGI Leia at the end. You do have Grand Moff Tarkin in there, but by and large, it stands on its own with new characters. It's like that. This movie finally brings Rey and Poe and Finn together in a good character moving arc, and also Kylo Ren as well. So I really wish that I had seen some of that backstory, seen some of that character growth in the first two movies of this trilogy, and that's what holds it back for me. Okay, Matt, before we go, I need to ask, would you recommend that our audience go watch this movie?
I don't think I would say you have to see this movie, but I mean it does wrap up the Skywalker saga, I would say. So if you're a Star Wars fan, yeah, go check it out.
I agree. If you're a Star Wars fan and you have to watch it to get the ending, and you need to know the ending without trying to avoid spoilers, go watch it. But if you're a general moviegoer, I would honestly say maybe wait for it to come out on video. It's worth watching from that perspective, but maybe wait for it to come out on video.
Well, Randall and I have much more to talk about with this film, so we're going to put together a spoiler-filled review. So be sure to check that video coming out shortly. Of course, we have lots of other videos on our channel. Be sure to click on the link to check out some of our other reviews. And it's not just movies. We're talking TV shows as well. And if you like our content, be sure to subscribe. We'll have lots more coming too. And if you enjoyed this review, give us a like, because that helps us a lot. Well, I'm Matt from Michigan.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. See you guys.